Hey guys, sorry it's a little late. I was gonna record another gaming video the other day, but I completely forgot about it. I was too focused on my games.
And OJ Bird's just as guilty, I forgot.
Yeah, we both forget. But anyway, I wanted to do something different today, other than normally just putting in Darksiders 3. I am gonna do a Darksiders 3 video tomorrow, and then a Dauntless video as well. But today I wanted to actually showcase this Dark Deception game that both me and my dad talked about before in previous videos every once in a while. I actually made a full-scale replica in Minecraft. I'm not the best builder, okay? It doesn't look exactly like it. It's not gonna. I did the best I could, or that one meme. It ain't much, but it's honest work. But it actually is playable. Other versions of this, I'm not the first person who actually made Dark Deception in Minecraft. I've had other people do it. I've seen other people do it. Except, again, theirs wasn't playable. I made mine. And if you're wondering what you're looking at, I'm looking at the ground because I don't want to show you. I'll reveal it to you in a second. This is the ballroom. The main starting area of the game. These are like the portals. The gray ones, they're locked. Like, they're not available yet. They have to wait until the actual game releases them. I was going to add like a background track to the Dark Deception world, like a real right now, but like really faint, like you can barely hear it. But then at the same time, we'd probably get a copyright strike if we did that.
But yeah, that not necessarily that, but also I wanted y'all to be able to hear him clearly.
Well, that's why I said faint, like very quiet, because I can do that. But anyway, I made the world, the Dark Deception world. I added the end blocks in the background to kind of go with the whole aesthetic of you being in a void. It took way too long to make. Well, at least the floor did, and that wall did, but those two are like done in a second. They're not even. That wall is completely filled, but that one's only to that point. But I don't care. It took way too long. But anyway, the point is, in the actual game, you went through like these red portals like Pac-Man. It's like a horror game, but it's played like Pac-Man. Like, you're wandering around.
You don't know what Dark Deception is, you're probably gonna just click right off this video. You'll be like, But if you stay, you'll learn something.
Yeah, Dark Deception, it's not a very well-known... It's like an indie game, kind of like FNAF, or Five Nights at Freddy's, or like Bendy and the Ink Machine, or Hello Neighbor, etc. It's like one of those indie games, but it's not very, very well-known. There are some of their videos I've seen that have millions of views, so that means there's definitely millions of people who know about it, at least to a certain extent. But, yeah, if you don't know what this is, and if you don't recognize what Dark Deception is, because I've had some friends join, or some random people join, they see, like, looks familiar, and I'm like, have you looked it up, like, Markiplier, 8-Bit Ryan, Corey X Kenshin, and then a bunch of other YouTubers. No, Jack hasn't played it.
I didn't think he has.
Markiplier only played like the first 3 levels and then he stopped. Corey did at first, but then he came back after like a year. But anyway, there is a whole origin, like a backstory that goes with this, but I'm not going to go into that too much because I didn't make mine exactly like his, like I said before. I did add some of my own stuff that I wanted to add. Because in the actual game, you went up to the statue and you got, like, powers that you can unlock. Like, stun, like you can stun the enemies, or teleport, or have super speed and stuff like that. For me, I had turned it into an instructional area. Like, if you don't know what the game is, you press this button, and it takes you to this little instructional area that tells you about it. I also added, like, trophies for difficulty settings and stuff like that you want to beat it on. They did recently add the Nether update, so that's a trophy, like a crown. I named them and stuff like that. Nobody really... I built this for people that don't know what the game is, but yet everybody always forgets as soon as they read it. So I just explained it to them anyway. I'm not going to go through and play each of these levels in this video because that would take way too dang long. Especially the 4th one. The 4th one I made way too big. In the actual game, oh yeah, I forgot,
I would like and comment, and he'll do another level review.
I'll do a level, like, showcase. Because I'm actually was going to have someone play this when I get off of this video, because I've been wanting to play with that person for a while, because he was originally going to get back to me, but he never did. I had to make this. This has been a work in progress for about a year now. I've been working on this for a while. At first, I didn't know what I was doing, because I was going to have my friend Napalm do like the whole redstone and command block section, because I didn't know anything about that stuff. He easily gets overwhelmed, so I got tired of waiting for him to come back, so I decided to learn on my own and find out all the different things. So I've learned a bunch of different commands, like cloning, like I can make an infinite chest, have infinite stuff in it, and then put it back. I learned that. I also learned the teleport command, where you can go teleport to different locations, not just in there. I also found a way to add titles on the screen. And also different font changes and changing colors of the signs. That's not really a command, but also spawning in enemies, changing the effects, like giving things super strength or super speed or levitation, and etc. And yeah, I've learned a bunch of different things.
Yeah, old Daddy Jaybird over here has been impressed
And
with old Mel Tucci's, the way how much he's learned, and how much time and effort. I'm very proud of him.
Yeah, I didn't. If you're wondering if I'm ever gonna make a replica of a game, I very rarely ever do that. The only other game I actually made a replica of in Minecraft was Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare 2, and that doesn't have all these crazy redstone command block things in it, because that was on Xbox One edition. None of that stuff existed on that one, so it had to be completely manually controlled. So I was never able to have the option to play it, only to mess around with it and look around. I actually had to be the one to spawn in the enemies myself and teleport people. On this, I don't have to do that too much. The only thing that I have to manually control is the tripwire hook part. Everything else you can do on your own. I added like the elevator part. You would actually have to look up on a YouTube video to see the comparison. Like I said, I didn't make it's exactly the same, because that would take way too much time and effort. And again, I'm not a big builder person. I'm more of just an actual mini game creator. I made the elevator part. It used to be just a ladder, but I thought that was too generic and boring, so I just wanted to make it to where you teleport. I actually did make an Xbox trailer of this, but it's very old. It was made way back when elementary. It was just the first 2 levels, and that was it. It's way past that point now. Now I have like the first 5 done, plus my own bonus like fan-made level that I'm still not done with, but nearly completed. This is the first level. I actually copied, like I looked at the game, like my friend sent me a picture of what the tablet, because in the actual game you have like a tablet that shows you what the maze looks like and where all the little shards are, because you're not collecting pellets, you're collecting shards. Which each shard equals 1 death from another person that's already been here. In this level, we had like 200, almost 300. So that means a lot of people have died. But anyway, this is the only level I actually copied the exact pathways from the actual game of how they were shaped, not how they looked, because obviously this is not at all what it looked like. Every other level I just made up my own pathways, because it would take way too long. I do have a friend on here who's very fast-paced. I don't talk to him very much at all. I came across him randomly on Battle for Neighborville. I know I haven't been recording much of that game anymore, because the only videos I ever really recorded on there were just about the events. But the thing is, there's always a new event every single month, so I figured that would get kind of old. So I still might record it at some point in the future, I don't know. However, there is a new thing they're doing with prize maps at the moment that has to do with legendary upgrades, but I'm going to go more into that later. Right now we're focusing on Dark Deception, so don't want to get too sidetracked. But anyway, yeah, this is playable, like I said, for the millionth time. If you're wondering how it starts, is originally I did have like a little tripwire here. How it would work is you'd step on a tripwire, and all the shards would come out all around the map through dispensers. Normally you can do that with command blocks, so if you do it that way, they're infinite, you never have to worry about running out. But the problem is, though, the commands the commands for summoning objects are kind of confusing. I've looked it up. There are some commands that are easy to figure out. Some of them are just like, what? And the summoning objects is one of those that don't make sense. So I'd rather use dispensers. But at the same time, I don't really have to worry about running out because I put a full stack in all of them. And I know that sounds like I could run out after a while, but the thing is, I'm always creating copies of this world, so that way, if something were to happen to one of them, I always have a backup. You know, smarter.
We've learned valuable lessons over the years of playing Minecraft after being griefed
and trolled
and trolled
and everything. I did have some people on here a while back that were just didn't even join to actually play it. They just joined to mess around and toy with everything. And they were saying, oh, I kind of want to blow everything up. I'm like, dude, you don't have that option, so I don't know why you're even trying. Because I have it set to where people can't do that.
So we ain't dumb. We might sound like rednecks, but we ain't dumb.
Well, I don't really sound much like a redneck. I've had many people either say I sound like I'm in my 20s or I'm a YouTuber. And that was before I've had a YouTube channel. I'll go through like each level's like the beginning, like I'll show you what it looks like. I'm not gonna go through the entire thing. Like here's the school. Like here's elementary evil. And there's like the windows. If you don't know what those are giant pencils. I know they don't look very good. Just bear with me, okay? I've met a friend on Xbox, another one of the people I was trying to find to play this, and once she came on this world, she's one of the people who is a good builder, and she was really triggered about how all this looked. She was like, this screams correction, like it just needs to be detailed. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but I'm not a builder person, so. However, she did really want to help me on the Siren Head level, so I'm like, oh, that's good. I can have someone help me make a Siren Head level. And because of her, I was able to make a Zone 2. And Zone 2 ended up not looking that bad. And if you're wondering about Siren Head, it's like this trend.
Well, it's totally something off on a tangent, so we don't want to get too distracted.
Well,
let me reel you back in here.
Well, Siren Head there's not a lot to talk about him other than, like, his abilities, maybe. Oh, if you didn't know already, Siren Head is like today's new Slenderman, because originally Slenderman used to be, like, everywhere. Like, everyone talked about him. He was such a big creepypasta. And now Siren Head's taken up the internet by storm. So because of that, I decided to make tribute to that and make my own level based around him. Originally he's seen in the woods, but the thing is, I already kind of was going to make Slenderman take place in the woods. But there is a problem I was going to have where I couldn't... Alright, before I get into that, I want to point out, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I made another ballroom, because in the main game, it's just this area. That's all it is, and then there's these portals. I made these 3 buttons on this door, because in the actual game, this is like the Malik door. It just has a big eyeball on it. What was that sound?
I don't know.
I hear it. It's like... Yeah. I don't know. There's these new ambient sounds that I've never heard before in Minecraft. And I've heard a lot of them, and I know pretty much all of them. I just didn't know that one. I added my own buttons that each lead to somewhere that I wanted to add them personally. This button is a mystery at the moment. It will be something big in the future. It was originally going to be a rewards room, but then I thought that was kind of a waste for a button, so I just added them into the instructional room. Instead, Dark Deception themselves, or aka Glowstick Entertainment / Vince Livings, the main creator of the game, we've seen his videos and him talking and answering questions. He seems like a nice guy. But anyway, he was talking about this multiplayer game called Monsters Immortals, which sounded interesting, and they gave us a little hint to what it is. How long is the video? Oh, whatever. He gave us like a hint to what it is. It's like he showed this person playing as an enemy in the game, Agatha, the little schoolgirl. If you didn't know, Agatha's actually voiced by Kat Cressida, or aka the voice actress for Dee Dee from the show Dexter's Laboratory. I didn't know that until she first came out. So
oh, you mean Miranda, your sister?
No.
I used to tell her she was Dee Dee.
Yeah, she's always crazy. But anyway, they showcased that you play as Agatha, and she attacked another Agatha in the monkey business level. So I was like, maybe it's a PvP Dark Deception. So I was thinking maybe I can make that an actual thing in my Dark Deception world for the third button. These other two actually are something. This is my boner. This is my own custom-made, fan-made boner. Okay. This is my own custom-made boner. I wanted to add it because I really was intrigued on wanting to make this. If you're wondering where this is even at, this is much bigger than the other one.
I like it better because I like purple and black and the flames.
They added blue.
flames.
There's blue flames now in Minecraft. They added and blue torches.
And I don't know about y'all. If y'all don't know this, but Jaybird here loves blue flames.
But the only way to add blue flames, it has to either be soul soil or soul sand. Anything other than that, it's not going to be blue flames. Soul soil is the same as soul sand. It works the same, except you don't slow down when you run on it. They've added a new type of light block called shroom lights, which I added over there. They're mushroom lights. They're the exact same kind of brightness as glowstone and sea lantern, so it's good. You can only find them in those like trees.
Why have them on that side and not the other side?
Because I wanted to be a bit different. Because these are chapters.
Okay.
This is a new type of material called warped. It's like warped fence. It's actually fireproof.
Ooh.
And these are soul torches. That's what they're called. The problem though with blue lights is they're not as bright. They produce less light than regular light, but they look better.
Yeah.
The torches, the blue
light.
They also added soul lanterns. They're called soul light, soul fire. They also added a new armor, which is actually even better than Nightmare armor. But alright, well, I don't want to get too sidetracked, I know, sorry. There's a lot going on with the Minecraft at the moment. But anyway, there's actually, in the other barn, there's 10 portals in total. This one has 14. And these are supposed to be, like, I wanted to do something cool for the community, to have people give me their ideas on what they want to see, different characters from any kind of movie, TV show, or game, and I want to turn them into an actual level. I already have the first 6 planned out for what I want to be. The others over there are completely open for ideas. And I've had all kinds of people ask me, why is that one the only one that's black? And that's because that one's auto set to Nightmare. You have to play it on Nightmare. And the portals in here, when they're open, they're purple. They're not red. And also the signs in the main one, they would say that what the location is and what enemies are in it. The signs in here are going to say how you play them, because these ones you can't freely play. You have to play the main, you have to earn them. You have to play the original ballroom levels on a certain Nightmare mode in order to unlock these. So like for example, this one, Siren Head, is you have to beat it by beating the monkey business one on Nightmare. I have it mostly completed. This one takes place in a town, or like a village. This one's going to be Slender Man. And then this one's going to be Computer Scientist and Garden Warfare 2. And these first 3 would be Chapter 6. And then these 3 over here would be Chapter 7. Chapter 8 over there. Chapter 9 over there with the Black Portal. And then those 2 up there are Chapter 10. I also have the names picked out for these. This one would be Tormented Town. This one would be Dreaded Forests. And then Technological Terror. And then this one would be a Serpentious from the show Hazbin Hotel, which most of you probably won't know what Hazbin Hotel is. It's like a animated series. It's like rated R, kind of, because there's a lot of swearing in it. But it's cool, though. But anyway, there's a character in it named Serpentious. He's like a snake overlord, and if you didn't know, a little fun fact, he's voiced by the same guy. Will Stamper voices Hattie Haddington in a game called Battle Block Theater, which I grew up playing a lot of. I was going to make his level, and I was going to call it Industrial Insight, because he was actually, it would take place in a steampunk kind of map. Like, it would be his big blimp. It's very confusing. I haven't figured it too far on it. This one would be I forgot what was in it. I'm trying to remember what that one was. Or no, this one, I got them mixed up. This is the Serpentious level. This one's a Dr. Zomboss level from Plants vs. Zombies. And then this last one, my friend Bookish is a huge fan of Doom, so I wanted to be nice for him and make him a Doom level.
Dum 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 dum.
Yeah, and I was going to make the enemy be the icon of sin, and he said he'll only play it if it involves him actually fighting anything, and I said, yes, he will. I'll make it to where you can actually fight the boss.
You should fight it with Wither.
Well, I mean, what else am I going to use for a boss?
Exactly, because Wither would be perfect, because it's just like that floating head that shoots
Well,
fireballs.
Wither is a demon, but I'm not just going to make it just a plain Wither. I'm actually
Or
gonna
Ghast.
Ghast are too easy to kill.
I know, but you know.
Ghast you kill in like 2 hits, so that wouldn't be very fun. I mean, however, there is a command where you can make a mob have a certain amount of resistance, so that way it takes a lot of hits to kill them. But the problem, though, with that is I have to make it target a specific mob. If I just set it to add E, it'll affect the players as well. So that's what I did with the other. Anyway, that would be called Elevated Hell because the location would be a big building. Overall, I'll show you guys a little sneak peek of this fan-made level that I've been working on, Siren Head's Tormented Town. I changed the font. There's Siren Head himself, the statue of him. Zombie Best built that because the way how I was building Siren Head, it didn't look very good at all. He had to add. He puts more detail into his work. I added a whole bunch of trees, these little buildings. I know they don't have a lot to them. I just wanted to make them as a wall aesthetic. This is the path. This map is big, but you actually very quickly complete it. I've had a couple people, like 1 or 2 people already try this out. I did something different for this level. I made it to where Siren Head actually plays sounds through his sirens when you start the level, but it's only for like the beginning and then that's it. So like what happens is you break the tripwire. Also, by the way, the enemies are zombie villagers because it fits the aesthetic. So there's 4 of them instead of 3. But judging from how I watched people play this level, it was way too easy. Because the enemies are very easy to dodge. They walk way too slow. There's no traps, no nothing. It's just the zombies. And that's it. And then there's also the siren. He plays the Music Disc 11, which is just a bunch of creepy sounds and stuff like that. But anyway, I know I'm taking a long time. There's a lot to discuss here. I had a little town hall here. My friend Zombie Best built this, but Hope kind of finished it up. Here's Zone 2. This is another new block. These are new blocks they added, called Crimson. I built this little hut. I wanted to add some detail to it, so I added all that to it. This is Zone 2. This is supposed to be like an abandoned and destroyed village. And all these fences are the pathways, like the maze itself. Honestly, personally, I'll think this one looks better than Zone 1. But I like Zone 1 too. So, I'm not going to play these because that would take like forever. But anyway, that is this level. There's no other levels in the ballroom right now in the new one. I'm going to go back to what I was doing. I also made a thing where originally, usually when you complete a level, you have to run out of shards because your inventory is going to get full after playing so many levels. So what I did originally was just have a lava pit for you to burn it all in. I found out there's a clear inventory, so now at the end of every level when you press a button to leave, all your stuff gets cleared out anyway, so you never have to worry about getting full. So that was easy.
I wish my belly was like that.
This is the Deadly Decadence. This one I'm going to give an overview on because this one, in terms of looks good, but it's one of the smallest. It's one of the smallest maps, but it's one of the coolest looking ones. You'd think this is a mansion. This isn't actually a mansion. I did put a lot of detail into this one, though. Because I wanted to make it look as pleasing as I could. It's actually just a wall. That's the actual maze itself. It's not even really a maze, because that right there is the whole map itself. That's it. I was going to add more, but I was too lazy. I didn't want to add like 50 billion pathways. I kind of did here. This is actually one of the hardest levels I made, too. And I didn't even make the enemies have strength, and you can still die a lot. Also, I don't know why I have this here anymore. This is supposed to be like a secret path you could take, and you get like a secret ward, but I got rid of that option, so I don't know why I added it. Also, I added infinite chests for here because I was tired of just constantly giving people shields and having to go into creative. Well, I already am in creative. Go into the inventory and make them all over again and keep giving them to people. So I just added a chest that has infinite shields. And I added another one for Zone 2 just in case people don't know how to use it correctly, which a lot of people don't. Because I've had to show people how to play it. Because that level, people kept just sitting in corners like, ooh, 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 ooh. I'm like, dude, you don't have to do that. 29?
25.
Oh, that's alright. Remember, some of our videos are like 30, so. Anyway, this is Stranger Sewers. This is actually by far one of my biggest maps I've made. 90% of this I made by myself. The only times I actually had help was when I had Zombie Best and Sama, and they just filled up a couple of the walls. The rest of it, I just worked completely on my own. This one actually that one actually had a boss. This one is the one that took me the longest to make, and is the one that I put the most work into. Crazy Carnival. It's the carnival map. Here's like the boss area, the carousel, all the games, the giant clowns. There's the big top. This one I'll go through because this one's personally my favorite in terms of looks. You actually go through the big clown mouth, the big clown heads, the slides that you go on. This one has 2 floors. That's all kinds of redstone. Those are all the redstone that leads to the dispensers. I want to show you guys the roller coaster ride that I made real quick. This is the altar room because every level has to have an altar. This is the beginning of the ride. This chest has been bombarded and attacked. It starts off all slow, but then it gets a little bit faster. There's a drop. In the actual game, you go down slow, but I can't do that, so the closest I can do is just drop. There's the giant Goliath clowns I added. There's the big clown head and the clown mouth. The teeth would open and close, but I couldn't add that. These are supposed to be moving. It's supposed to be a trippy pathway. This room took me forever to make.
Yes, but that room looks pretty trippy. It looks as close as I could imagine doing in Minecraft.
I made it into like a pattern. It was pink,
I like it.
blue, orange, green. Pink, blue, orange, green. Pink, blue, orange, green. Pink, blue. Ugh, it was just going forever. And then that's the end of the ride. It's not very long. This is the Zone 2. This one I got done actually a lot quicker than I did Zone 1. There's actually not very many pathways in this one, but this one's big. Mate, it's big. This is the rainbow pathway that I added. The light pathway, you should call it. This is like a safe area. In the actual game, there were shards up here, but I don't know how I was going to do that. It would get in the way. There'd be too much redstone going through here. You'd be like having to walk in between it and be like, ugh. So I thought it was a mess. My favorite room in here is probably this one. This is a mirrored room, if you didn't know. And I actually, yes I did, I made some of the walls in here, between some of these pillars is invisible walls, like right here. So it can throw people off. I put one over here, but no one's going to go through fall for that. There is supposed to be a minecart that goes through here. I don't know where it's at, but I'm not going to wait because it'll take way too long. This portal takes you back to the beginning, where you actually do the boss fight. The boss fights, I did make them fully fledged, like, on their own boss fights, where you can actually, like, I don't have to manually control it, it does its own thing. The problem is, though, there's not much that I can do in terms of my knowledge of redstone, so all you're really doing is just running around and avoiding enemies for, like, a couple minutes, and that's it. You just have to survive until they just die on their own for no reason. And a rare thing happened on this world, by the way. This isn't really anything to do with Dark Deception. We managed to find 2 ravines intersecting each other like a big X underground.
X gonna give it to you.
X gonna give it to you, yeah. Those woods over there, that's the Siren Head level. But yeah, overview, this is the whole clown level. And that out there in the back, if you can't see that little glimpse, is the roller coaster, and that's Zone 2. This is what the boss fight looks like in terms of redstone.
Wow, that's a lot of redstone.
This is what does the title for it. This is the thing that is linked to the start. This goes out to chain and branch out to all of the spawners that spawns the enemies in. And then this one over here. Wait, what is this one? I'm trying to remember what this one. This is the timer for the first half, because there's actually 2 halves of this boss fight, unlike the other one. This one, it spawns in a drowned, a zombie, a stray, and a wither. And then after like this thing is the first like minute or 2, and then once all that redstone reaches those command blocks, it kills all 4 of the enemies down there. And it's supposed to respawn all 4 of them, but for some reason the zombie one's the only one that doesn't want to respawn back in a second time. This one leads to the second half timer, and then at the end, that is what kills all of them, including all the withers, because there's actually 4 withers that spawn in front of all those faces. That's supposed to be a
carousel.
No, not a carousel. Ferris wheel. It looks very bad, I know. I'm not very good at building Ferris wheels. The carousel was a bit easier, because I actually knew what I was doing. So that's the carousel. This is Stranger Sewers on the outside. It looks a lot like crazy on the outside. I spent probably about like 6 hours straight one day on this, and then spent another couple more hours the next day on it. And I was exhausted after working on all this. This is just the starting area. There's a lot of redstone that goes into this. Smokey is playing with something on the back of the couch. This is redstone that leads to the spawners of the drowned. All of this that you're seeing, this is what is controlling the level behind the scenes. All of this redstone here is what spawns in all the enemies. There's a lot of enemies in this level. Probably about like around 50. I don't know. I know I'm taking a long time. There's a lot to talk about. I know. I'm going to try to hurry up. I'm nearing completion. These are all the spawners. I know you probably don't really care about this. This is for the people that just want to know what it's like, how this even works. This is what spawns in all the shards. They all link from the very first beginning. All of this out here is just zone 1. This is all zone 1 right here. This takes like probably an hour to complete. This is zone 2. It's much smaller. The reason why I made it that way is because people were complaining that took way too long to complete, and it was very difficult. This right here is the boss arena. All of this is the timer. There's one, this one goes to the first enemy. This one goes to the second enemy. This one goes to killing both of them in all 3. But, that's pretty much it. That's everything out here, other than one more thing left to have. The only thing I have left to showcase is something I decided to add for people who are bored or have nothing to do left on this world, or just straight up already done everything.
That just are fans of old Jay Bird and Wolfman.
Yeah, there's a reason why he's pointing that out. This is the free roam region I added. It's for people to hang out, chill, do whatever. I added mini games, exploration areas like that aquarium, parkour that's way too difficult and people are going to want to pull their hair out. This is a spiral staircase I've decided to add for the starting area because I thought it'd be cool. I had to put invisible walls all the way around it because people kept messing around and jumping off and killing themselves all the time. This is where you start at. I couldn't actually put a button